It's a true story.
And maybe you can also 3D print my IfM models, so you can create a miniaturized IfM. How amazing is that? So I expect the software to evolve over time, and maybe I'm at the first stage of just a primitive monkey. Okay. So there are a lot of lessons which I've learned from doing this project. I've learned to model really fast. Now I know all of the shortkeys for Blender modeling. And I have also learned how to develop for high-end VR. So back in Malaysia, I've learned some modeling, but I can't apply it in VR because I doesn't have the tools. Okay. And I have also learned how to read and model from AutoCAD drawings. And I learned a lot of stuff about IfM buildings. I've gone through the documentation, and I know the fire strategy of a little bit of fire strategies about the IfM and the cooling system of the IfM. Yeah. And I've also learned a little bit about different research groups. And yeah, thanks. So I would like to say thank you for the opportunity for me to work on this project. I've learned a lot from it. Yeah. And yeah, thank you.
That's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So questions or comments? Thomas, you were desperate.
No,
Yes.
not desperate, but I was wondering, in terms of the price difference between, say, the £700 system you're using and the $500,000 to $1 million industrial system, where are the differences?
I will show you the statistics.
Oh no. Yeah, I think he's asking like, what's the difference? Like, why is it so expensive? Is it?
Yeah, so what can you do with the industrial system that you can't do with yours, for instance?
Okay, so I haven't used the industrial system on it, so I can't give that much comment on it.
Okay.
But from what I've heard, the industrial system is, the quality of it is poor than the one that I'm currently using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But by quality, what do you mean? Just that you're able to make the textures better, or there are big features? You know, what kind of...
So I haven't got the chance to use the system yet, so I can't tell more about it. Sorry.
Just to answer a bit on your question, I've used the Siemens one, and there is no difference in it. I mean, in practical, how you feel about the whole system when you are in the cave, it doesn't make a difference. It's exactly the same idea.
So what about functionality? Is it
The functionality depends, right? I mean, you could get whole suits, gloves and stuff, so I don't know if you could get the same here, but probably has more rendering power than. But in terms of how the user experiences it,
how was Siemens using it?
we can chat
Yeah.
later about that. They were using it to render their part. So, but I mean, it's exactly the same as this one, and this is probably cheaper and much better.
So you got the answer. Thank you, Leo.
Maybe if they're using for training purposes, maybe there's more ways that you can direct and, you know, I don't know.
How big is that computer? The computer that allows your animation to move. What's the
I will pass that question to Ben.
What computer are you guys using?
So it's a standard consumer PC,
Right.
but it's one where you use for gaming specifically.
So it has to have a very good visual card.
Yeah. So the minimum that you can get is £1,000, and that works reasonably well.
So I assume it's the amount of data they can process. The difference is the amount of data they can process in real time. So that how the more real what you see is.
So I guess the follow-on question I have is, but the idea is for this to be viewable on anybody's computer via the web.
Yeah.
So what happens between running it on this powerful machine here with a VR headset to it appearing as a part of the IfM web page where you can just scroll through with your mouse?
It's more on the monitor so that people can do the virtual reality at home with the.
But this isn't meant for virtual. I guess the system is that you go to a website and literally go IfM website and just walk through the building like you do with a lot of 3D fly-throughs of new buildings.
I thought it was more of virtual reality with your mobile.
So there is
So
that
they
side
could
to it
be
as well.
parallel.
But if we want lots of people to visit it, we can't rely on lots of people to have headsets. So the idea is, I think, if I've got it right, that it's going to be developed into something we can see on a website. So what happens between those two? So yes, it'll carry on as a high-end thing.
Do you need a head? Sorry, I thought any modern smartphone
So okay,
could
the
do
software that.
Absolutely. So my question is, how do we go from this high-performance system here to something that, when you're gone, we can just get Sarah Fell or somebody to put on our website for a nice walkthrough? What are the steps between these 2 points?
The software I've developed, I use Unity software to develop it.
Right.
And then from Unity, I can also change it, integrate the software into non-VR usage.
Okay, so still 3D, but non-VR.
Yeah, maybe a first-person games or something like that.
Right.
You can walk through.
So it becomes a walkthrough rather than you're not interact. You can walk through and then go into Ronan's
You can also
lab.
interact, just
Right.
like a first-person game. Yeah.
Perfect.
So-
'Cause that would be
So
super cool.
Yeah, in that case, you'll be clicking and then you'll be moving forward or turning.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe I can also make it into the cheaper VR users,
Mm-hmm.
such as the cardboards or the Samsung Gear.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that would be, I
Yeah,
guess,
get
so
your
nice.
question answered.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think that's a really nice thing, that this becomes a resource to help us explain our research to people around the world. And so I guess it's got to go to that level of being a walkthrough, as well as being developed as a fully immersive, I'm now going to become a carbon nanotube type thing, which is that's a bit more high-end. But very cool.
And because you have these classes now, so sorry to print, that cost like £2. I mean, it's super primitive, but still,
It
for
works.
basic stuff,
Mm.
you can use it, and you could just ship out the classes, and here's your tour.
We could do that, yes.
I think
In your
How
welcome
do you
packet.
interact? You don't interact. You have your the thing
Smartphone.
you hold on your hands. I don't know how they're called.
The controller.
The joystick.
Controllers, yeah.
Yeah, but when you have your Samsung, what do you do the equivalent?
So for the equivalent, they actually have begun to release low-cost controllers. So because they realize that, okay, for these high-end ones, you have all these really fancy controllers. But for the Samsung or smartphone types, they have now begun to release like miniature controllers. So you just take it, you wave it around, and it has a similar effect. So
And you can move your head around.
But, yeah, they are, but you can't grab things.
Mm,
But I never stopped in a shop. Like, there are always so many people queuing, and so I never did it in the shops in the store.
But just one more thing to add is that the beauty of his application is because he has developed on a platform that can just be pushed onto other devices. So it's not specific to this hardware. You can just push it onto the web with a minimal configuration. So
Can I
Yeah.
ask you? It
Yes.
can sound nasty, but I don't mean it nasty at all.
Yeah.
Can it be hacked? So do you think people will actually try to change IfM to do something not?
Yeah, probably.
So
Well, someone already has. They've taken the roof off.
is it something we should worry about or not?
Sweden is
It depends.
Okay,
Sweden is.
because probably that's maybe for the university. I don't know. We might want to protect it somehow. Is it easy to do? I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
I
as long as it's not connected to any controls or anything.
It's probably also not a very high value target at this stage.
You never know. People
If you
are
hack it and
extremely
change it, I
nasty
think you just
online. I'm surprised.
If you get here behind the security barrier to the labs, you can suddenly see what Michael has.
missing with
my-
these experiments?
My question is rather, I mean, still that task of modeling is a major part of your work, right?
Yeah.
I think there was last year's briefing day, or maybe one other event. There were guys. They had basically on a tripod a camera that was like turning around, and they kind of like what techniques or method do you know that actually try to help with that modeling? I mean, because that's kind of a major task.
camera.
Mm.
How is that? I would assume
Like the
that this is
Google, the
kind
Google
of
camera.
developed.
the
Or you
Google
have a drone like flying through the and with a specific 360-degree camera or something that's just
I do have.
capture.
I can perhaps help chip in on this one. So MIT is developing, well, they have developed like this mobile camera where you just place in a room and then it just maps out your room in 3D. So the idea is that you take this thing, you move it around the room, and then it just maps out, it creates a 3D model automatically. So it's really handy, really fancy, but it's still pretty pricey because they're the only ones who have this technology. But speaking to Raj from Dial, he mentioned that there are some people from the main site, I think, I can't remember his name, a Professor Coppola or something.
Roberto Cipolla.
Roberto Cipolla.
Yeah.
So apparently he works with vision, and so Raj says he will try to set up a meeting where Yang gets to talk with him and see.
There was a camera basically. One company came along to the meeting here, and they basically had this camera. They put it up, and it took them a couple of minutes or so. And then, as you say, they had to move the tripods to different locations. But then, maybe it was actually not a company, but that research group.
Last question.
Okay. On building on Frank's question, and something I'm quite fascinated by is, I mean, modeling the rooms is quite nice.
Yeah.
But modeling the machines is even nicer, and that's some of the things you can then do virtually with the machine. So to simulate stuff, you possibly need a physical machine.
Yeah.
You could replicate easily online, and you are not restricted then by one machine for 10 students. You could have 50 machines, and every student could play with one. So how much effort would be involved in modeling some of the robots, for instance, we have downstairs, or some other machines?
Yeah, that depends on the complexity of the robots.
Sure.
Yeah, it can take from maybe an hour to 1 day.
Just a slight add-on is that some companies like that provides the robotic arms, they actually provide CAD models for you to download. So the beauty of it is that you don't need to remodel everything. This one that Yang has done, he built it from scratch because there wasn't enough time to contact the companies. But we have seen that you can actually do that. You just reach out to them. They can give you the models, and you can input and integrate it into your software.
So like ABB or KUKA?
Yes, all the popular brands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it is happening, isn't it? So I know for the outline drawings for the new building next door, which is still a long, long way off, but the architects now automatically provide a 3D walkthrough, fully rendered, of your new building. So I guess now we can just start to add, I presume you can just plug those files in and boom, there's the new building, and then you do all the detail as well.
Yeah.
But the first step is now much easier. Interesting. All right. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, that is really cool. Oh, can't be that. Right, and something that could be even cooler, I don't know, because I know what it means. ALCS membership. What is that?
Definitely not very much cooler. And that's actually a little bit